grab a quick call. We go to Albany. Josh, glad you called, sir. Great to have you. EIB Network, hello.
Rush, thank you for all that you do.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
You know, you might think it was fair to delay the individual mandates since the employer mandate's being delayed by a year, but that's not what this administration is all about. And, you know, people who think in terms of 99% and 1% ought to take notice of this. And the reason I would suggest the individual mandate isn't being delayed for a year while the employer mandate is what the upshot is. And that is that there will be a sizable number of people who get dumped off their employer-provided insurance and will need someplace to go. So they're going to go to the exchanges.
Absolutely. You've just nailed it.
And if the individual mandate were delayed, they might not.
Yeah. Now, do you know why?
Well, it increases the number of healthy people who will be dumped into the exchanges and pay their premiums into it.
Well, not just that. That's true, too. But the reason why, let me tell some folks, Josh here is up to speed. The reason the individual mandate will not be delayed is because the more people that the regime can get signed up, that much harder it's going to be to ever repeal this. That having people sign up is putting the exclamation point on establishing the entitlement. It's no different than having them sign up for Social Security. The more people sign up, the harder it's going to be to take it away from them. You are exactly right. Now, the dollars and cents aspect, in a sense, you're right, although I don't think Obama cares about that right now. I know Obama doesn't care about the money here. He doesn't care whether this is going to balance big debt. He doesn't care about that. But the people that pretend to care, they will cite that. Oh, yeah, we need these young people signing up because we're going to take their money, but we're not going to pay out because they're healthy. We need their money to cover the old folks.
As an added bonus, it is a redistribution of wealth in that sense because the wealth in the form of those premiums is being redistributed to the elderly and those with pre-existing conditions and the poor.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
So the more that go in, the more that happens.
Yeah, it's like reverse redistribution.
But John Stewart's mistake is presuming the Obama administration is trying to be fair about this when it's actually looking out for these people, when it's really win-win for the administration.
Exactly.
They hold businesses at bay and they get more people into the program.
Exactly. But Josh, remember now, you're a crazy, and Stewart's embarrassed of people like you.
Does Obamacare cover crazy?
Well, see, if you go in, that's another thing, though. I mean, you're making a joke, but this regime has proven if you're a donor, if you're a supporter, you get moved to the front of certain lines. If you're a crazy and a wacko, you might not get as preferential treatment. No, it's not. Being crazy is not pre-existing. Not this kind of crazy. Not political extremism craziness is not a pre-existing condition. Not in terms of Obamacare. Josh, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. He's dead on right. So while the low information crowd looks at this, and believe me, this is one of the points I was trying to making is illustrate this past couple of days and last week about who's winning and how we might be winning. This is what I meant. You're not seeing any news about this, but these low information people wait a minute, this isn't fair. Big business, hated, got to remember now, hated, reviled, rich, big business. What do? They don't pay their employees enough. They exploit them. They kill their customers. They destroy the planet. All that. That's what these young people have been taught growing up. Here, Obama extends them a grace period when what they're hoping is for that CEO and all these business people to get punished. I'm convinced that some of the support for Obamacare among middle-class, low-information voters because they think big business is going to get punished and big insurance is going to get punished. Because to them, that's fair. Because all these entities have been screwing them. Well, now here comes a waiver, if you will, in favor of big business. And so on their own, without having to be coached or told, wait a minute, that isn't fair. That's what Stewart was doing there. He's going to be voicing the concern of people in his audience. So he's occupied with the fairness aspect of this, whereas the regime, fair schmear, they need as many people going to those exchanges. That's the fastest route to single payer, number one. Secondly, the more people that sign up, the harder it's going to be to repeal or defund this because you're just creating everybody that signs up as a dependent then. Everybody that signs up becomes dependent on the government for their health. not insurance or treatment, but their health in their view. And once you've, once Santa Claus has shown up, it's hard to take the toys back. You can't. And that's what the thinking is here. And he's exactly right. That's why there will not be a waiver on the individual mandate and why there never was going to be one. Now, the low information crowd sees this as unfair, and I'm telling you that is something that is marginally beneficial to us within the bounds of the argument. You know what? If one thing they could do, if Obama really wanted people to sign up, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't predict this, but don't let them stay on the parents' plan to age 26. Can you imagine what that? I would love for them to repeal that. You think they're upset about this? Man, wouldn't you like to see the reaction to that? It'll never happen for that very reason. Okay. Yeah, let me take a break here. I'm going to employ programming format discipline here and try to stay on the programming clock so as to avoid these segments that are no longer than 2 minutes. Be right back.